Now, one of the other entertaining quirks of Danish culture is Danish fashion, and I'm not terribly fashionable in general. I've got the traveler Americana thing going, but one of the things that's quite interesting is you'll see that there's kind of a Danish uniform, especially for Danish girls, and especially in winter it'll be like black tights with a black miniskirt and a black or white top or something like that. But the thing that always really shocks people is so often you have these absolutely gorgeous people wearing fairly fancy clothes sometimes, or dressed fairly sharp, and then they'll have sneakers or tennis shoes on. And that is the epitome of Danish fashion, is that even at restaurants, at bars, even for the workplace, it's all about comfort, it's all about casual, it's all about balance. And so there's no question that the Danish people are incredibly vain. Yendela aside, which is its own separate thing, but within that there is this pure utilitarianism, and that's what creates this very special Danish fashion sense. And I think it's part of what's made the Danes famous for their fashion, because it creates these kind of quirky blends that seem like it's something that you shouldn't necessarily be doing, but it really ends up working, and it's comfortable, utility, and you can blend all sorts of other things that you wouldn't normally be blending. So when you're out about walking the streets of Copenhagen, and you see some guy in a suit or with a blazer on that's got a pair of tennis shoes, and you think, oh God, that's a huge fashion faux pas. Believe it or not, it would be most places, and it's still possible it is here, but more than likely it's just Danish casual fashion. And that's the same with most restaurants. I mean, even the really nice new Nordic restaurants here, at the end of the day, for the most part, you might dress up a little bit, but it would be on par with what you typically wear most places for Friday night out, Friday night dinner or Friday night at the bars. It's not suit and tie elegant, or very few places will bother you about a jacket or having a tie. Maybe shoes or something like that, if it's quite a nice restaurant. And that's even if you look at Noma, if you look at Bror, if you look at all these places, that's a big part of the charm and the ambiance, actually, is that relaxed authenticity. And so that is the essence of Danish fashion and the Danish fashion spirit. That and really cool braids and some really awesome beards. When you look at how much, so a cheap haircut here costs 100 kroner for just that at a kind of little immigrant barbershop. But most of the haircuts most of the Danes are getting are 400, 500, 600 kroner. That's a $100 haircut even for men. So that's always something that has really fascinated and shocked me when I first got here. And you do notice that the Danes, for the most part, especially here in Copenhagen, almost always have immaculate hair and are immaculately groomed. So it's a very interesting blend of cultures. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm thrilled that you made it this far into the video. I hope you found it interesting, quirky, informative. Perhaps I answered questions that you've been wondering about for a long time, questions you didn't even know you had, or perhaps you think I'm completely full of bullshit. No matter what, I would love it if you would let me know in a comment. And if you have questions that you want me to cover or that you want me to elaborate on, I love those as well. Please subscribe, a thumbs up, a like, a share, all deeply appreciated. And of course, remember, you can always tune in The Virtual Wayfarer, where I blog about travel and these types of topics on a regular basis. Thank you, open roads, safe travels.